And that brings us to Dr. Albert Pang. He's an optometrist. The website is trinityeyecare.com. Dr. Pang, thanks for joining us here on America's Morning News.
Thank you for having me this morning.
Yeah. The annual 10 Worst Toys list, published by the U.S.-based consumer watchdog World Against Toys Causing Harm. This is meant to ward parents off of impulse buying for their children ahead of the holiday shopping surge. First, let's go through some of the toys that are on this list, Dr. Pang.
Yes, of the 10 worst toys list that they have this year, the first one, the topping the list is called it's kind of like a bow and arrows set called the Airstorm Fire Attack Bow. And then this is the toy set that I think getting popular because of the new movie come out regarding a heroine that's using a bow and arrow. And the dangerous part of this is because they can shoot a arrow with a round tip for up to 140 feet away. And on top of that, because it glows in the dark, guess what the kid is going to do? They're going to play in the dark. And then when you're just having this high velocity, high speed arrow coming out in the dark, and you don't know who is around you, accident is waiting to happen. This is a scary time, man.
Well, Dr. Pang, I have to ask, obviously we're warning consumers out there who might be doing their Black Friday shopping today, but what happens if a relative or somebody doesn't hear this and your kid happens to open this present up on Christmas Day? What are some of the precautions parents should take if their kid decides that they're going to take this outside and play with it?
And of course, the first thing that I always advise the patients is, advise the consumer is that, first of all, look at the package that the toys is given. Sometimes they already tell before you even open it, you notice that then you have warning that is like, do not aim at the eyes, or you cannot do this and you cannot do that. And there's a whole bunch of warning that. The first thing I would do is, I know it's going to be hurtful to the kid, but don't open it, return it. Especially nowadays, we are talking about 260,000 toy-related injuries to the emergency room, and majority of them is really related to the eyes. And when there's so many options that we can do to entertain the kid, we don't have to risk the kid's eye with this potentially dangerous toy. And of course, if you're talking about potential dangerous toys, actually you can avoid doing that. Number one. Number two, follow the instruction of the warning label.
Right. What is there an appropriate age? Obviously, when you buy a toy, you see, appropriate for ages 3 and up. Do we know the age that's listed on this toy, or should we just avoid it altogether? I think certain toys like the top of the list, the Airstorm Fire Attack Bow. Again, when you're looking at the instruction, it should be more to do with older kids. And the problem with toys is that is listed as toy is so benign, and you think that it's safe, for the kid to use. But what about the 3-year-old bystander? What about the 5-year-old that is so excited to see the brother's new toy and pick up and try to play it themselves? So I would say the first thing we need to do is avoid them altogether, especially knowing that there's young kids in your family that may curiosity, they may pick up the toys and play themselves. And so I would say probably definitely something that the parents have to consider is certain toys need to avoid totally. And this bow and arrow, it's not the only thing on the list that can cause injuries to eyes. There's a riding implement and a slingshot in one.
Matt, I want to ask you, do you think those are toys at all?
I don't.
Sometimes when you look at the list on the worst toys list, you just kind of curious why even the toy manufacturers think about this idea that using a pencil as a slingshot, and why is it that we are even considering having a rocket set as a toy? I think on the list there's also a airsoft gun
you know how many times that we have kids after Christmas opening their toys, coming in with eye injury or abrasion of the cornea because of the airsoft bullets glazing the cornea. So all these are potentially dangerous toys, and somehow we just forget that, kids are kids. And more than likely, they will abuse the toy that you give them, and they will not look at the warning sign. So parents have to do the job of looking at the warning sign and tell the kid, so they're able to play safely during the holiday season.
Yeah, that one toy on the list, children's bottle rockets. When I think of bottle rockets, somehow children and bottle rockets don't go hand in hand. Yeah,
and I do not know. I was looking at the list earlier. I was thinking that rocket sets for Christmas. So, and then also I think the set, they have a very interesting age group appropriate. They said I think they have 8 years old. I cannot remember what is the appropriate age, and it's this right here, 8 years old and plus. So a young kid, 8 years old, can play rocket set. That is what this world is coming down to.
So. For the complete list, our listeners can head to toysafety.org, and that'll have the complete list. Dr. Albert Pang is an optometrist. The website is trinityeyecare.com. Dr. Pang, thanks for your time here on America's Morning News.
Thanks for having me.